Welcome to Climbing Together, the small business experience. I'm Beth Houtrow, founder of Climb the Small Business Book Club, and every episode I talk to a small business owner about a mistake that they've made and what they learned from the experience. Mistakes are inevitable, perfection's impossible, so let's embrace the mistake. And today we're so excited to welcome LaToya Rosoff to the podcast. LaToya, tell us a little bit about you and your business.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. LaToya Rosoff. I'm the owner of 79 Rose Dress Shop, and we are the premier dress shop for curvy girls. I wanted to create a safe shopping space for women to come shop free of body shaming and just feel free to be themselves. Our mission is really simple. We promote body positivity and self-esteem to a consumer who's been overlooked by the fashion world for years. So
That's awesome.
that is my mission, and that's what we do.
And where can people find you? Are you online, brick and mortar?
Yes, so I have a brick and mortar in Olathe by appointment because I do still have a day job. And then you can shop online as well at 79 Rose with a Z, 79rose.com.
Love it. All right. Very cool. Okay. So we are here to talk about mistakes. So tell me about a mistake that you made as you were getting your business started and kind of what you learned from that.
I think one of the biggest mistakes I learned was just relying on social media for like all my marketing, right? So I had this awesome idea and everyone's gonna come shop with me. I'm just gonna flood Instagram and Facebook and everyone's gonna love it. And it was like wah wah wah. Like social media is good for getting the message out, but you have to like nurture those relationships and things like that in a different way. So that was my biggest mistake, just relying on social media as my only marketing vehicle.
Nice. And so what did you do? What did you change to enhance your marketing beyond social media?
Yeah, so well, first thing I learned about email marketing, right? And it didn't really click like a big duh, about email marketing, and then like SMS marketing text, right? Because duh, we're in this area where everybody texts everything. So email, text, and then the beauty of like networking and community partnerships, right? So, like going to vending events and meeting people and getting my brand out there for brand awareness. So,
Yeah.
those are the three things that help me, with
Love it.
marketing.
Yeah. I mean, that's people really do. And I'm kind of guilty of this. Think that it's all about social media and then, everything else, it'll be fine. How did you grow your email list as a brick and mortar? What was your strategy around that for the email marketing?
Yeah, yes. So, I started getting involved, like I said, with vending events, right? And going to like these local pop-ups. And then I would just always have like a sign-up sheet, right? So when I met somebody or talked to somebody who had a purchase, signed them up for the email list. And the same thing when they came into my brick and mortar, maybe they came in to shop in person, they automatically, signed up, for got on the email list, and I started doing fashion shows and doing the same thing. And then I also just created a landing page, right? Because I went to this seminar, I learned about like emails or leads, lead magnets,
Mhm.
lead generators, da da da. And so I added like a pop up, sign up on my website to get emails or text. People can opt in either way. So it was slow at first, but again, once I started like learning that rhythm, it went like fast.
Nice. Awesome. Well, and that's, I think a lot of people who have brick and mortar physical product businesses feel like they have a harder time getting an email list unless you purchase, right? When you purchase, it's easy to get an email list. So, but for a service business, often it's that free download that you're giving away or whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
But it'd be a little bit weird for you to free download a dress. And so it often seems harder. And so I love all of those different ways that you grew your email list, right? And in-person events and all that kind of stuff, because it really is so essential. And all the experts say, that the algorithms change everywhere and we're always trying to keep up to date with social media and how to stay relevant, but your email list is your email list. You have it. And even if Elon Musk drives Twitter into the ground or whatever that is, and you have some huge following there, you're not going to lose your email list. So I love that advice.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, awesome. All right, well, LaToya, oh, I skipped a question here. I know you have a piece of advice for entrepreneurs. What was that you wanted to share with people?
I would say, you know what, one thing about your business, find that niche, find out, because that's going to be your differentiation between you and your competitors, and that's what keeps people coming back to you. One, I think it helps you also define your target market, your consumer, and how to appeal to them. Like I said, it's your kind of differentiation factor, your competitive advantage you have, over, similar businesses, and it helps with marketing, right? So when you learn with that, like for example, for myself, like my target market is curvy girls, right? And so like that's the language and hashtags that I use, and in my email marketing and social media, like I find all those like terms that would appeal to my target market. And like, once I start learning them, right, and learning what they what they love and they like, I can keep those things coming back at them. So I would say, obviously, one, business 101, your business needs to solve a problem, but two, like narrow it down. Don't be very general, because
Yep.
there's so, like me, there's so many boutiques, right, in the world, but there's only a few that cater to curvy girls. So I know that, I have this population that will always come back to me.
Yep. I love that advice. Yeah, the desire to try and serve everybody because you think that gives you better odds of sales is unfortunately not true, right? You need to um, know that you have to get a small group of people very excited about what you do. It's better to be a big fish in a small pond than a small fish in a big pond, because the small fish in the big pond just gets eaten up, right? And it just can't compete. But the big fish in a small pond, they've got a lot of leverage and power to make things happen. So I love that
Exactly,
advice. Yeah,
exactly.
nice. All right. So I Climb the Small Business Book Club is the presenter for this podcast, and I know that you have a book that you've read before and read again. So tell me about that book and what it's meant to you.
Yes, We All Should Be Millionaires by Rachel Rogers. I mean, you can insert that mind blown emoji right here, because that's what that book, did for me. And it was so many facets. Like, I mean, while, the consumer, I mean, the target market is women, I feel like anybody can learn from the book, because like it was amazing. One, she talked about the history in our emotional relationship with money, and traditionally how women are seen to be bad with money, right? Because like
Mhm.
that's the stereotype that has been like set. And it's like she was talking about these things, and I was like, and I'm reading it, it's like, is she in my mind? Like, how did she, like, she know like that's what I was feeling. And about that whole section was really good, because what I learned was like, not what I learned, but what I was empowered is like, no matter where you are, you can always restart. And she gave all these awesome tools about like learning your net worth and things like that. So it's things that you've heard, throughout the years, but the way she phrased it, it was like it hit home very well. And the second one was about like, I think like I'm a HR professional by trade, so there's like this big sexy term we're using called like zone of genius, and she kind of used it in the same way about like those things that we focus on that we're not good at. Right? Like we always trying to get better at something. She was like, no, like what are things that make you happy, things that come easily? Like those are things that you can use to make money. And it was like, again, mind blowing emoji insert here. It was like, it's like a big duh, like, right? Like you need to make money, do those things that come easy for you, that people compliment you on, right? Because that is your purpose. Like we think about this purpose like this whole big come to realization. Is not, and it's really simple. The things you do best and the things that you're good at come easy. Like that's the things you should be doing, and hopefully that ties back into your business, right? And making money. So like I can talk about this book, forever, but I should probably be a brand ambassador for her, because I have referred it to everybody. But it was really good. It was enlightening, again, about money tips, about like really, like making money on the things that you do well. I think we ignore that because it's like, oh, I just do that. But
Right.
technically, you can use that, to supplement your income and so forth. So those
Nice.
are my two big ahas from the book. So I highly recommend it for everybody.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing, and I think it's a wonderful book too. And I liked in the first part you were talking about. I'm a big advocate of book reading, and I think sometimes people feel like it takes too long. And you said, I'd heard this and I'd heard this, but you kind of had the aha as you were reading, because and she writes wonderfully. There's also something about spending time with the topic and learning through it, as opposed to just hearing a blurb about it or a quick video, it really helps it sink in, and you really kind of take the mental time to think about how you'd apply it to yourself. And so, as a book advocate, I appreciate those comments that you said, because I really do think there's value in spending more time learning and kind of
Oh my
reflecting on what
gosh.
you're learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if feel like you're a business owner and like you don't have money for like these big coaches, gurus, and things like that. There's so many resources that are free just by picking up a book.
Yep, absolutely. Awesome. All right. So, our last tenet of Climb the Small Business Book Club is community. So, tell me how you've built a supportive community around you of other entrepreneurs.
Yeah, so like I've like learned like I have built like my business tribe, and so like I met like fellow people at vending events and at pop-ups, and then I've been privileged to be a part of different a few business cohorts, here in the city, and then from that I have like this tribe of people that like I kind of go to, for like support or for motivation or just like answering like business questions like. I had a boutique bestie and I was like really struggling with I had a pop-up coming up and I want to do this like buy one, get something, off. And, I'm just like trying to Google, trying to figure it out. And so I was, venting and she was like, duh, like there's an app for that in Shopify. And it was like, what? Like, so just like being able to share those best practices. But the power of networking and collaborating is really key. Kansas City is a great place. We have so much love for small businesses and,
Mm-hmm.
our ecosystem is really great. So, like I said, I was able to build like my whole tribe, like I said, just from networking and talking at vending events and taking a business card. Like, take a business card or follow somebody on IG. I say that because you never know when you're going to need, like, oh, I did meet somebody 90 days down the line. And you can go back and pick up that card or send them a DM and say, hey, I had this question, or just like kind of reconnect. Can we go to coffee? But that's kind of the things I did to kind of build my
Nice.
business tribe.
Well, and I'm a little jealous. I'm not in Kansas City. I just happen to know Lauren and some other people, because I used to go to Kauffman Foundation events with my job. And so that's how I've met a lot of Kansas City people. And you guys have just one of the most amazing entrepreneur ecosystems for small businesses that I think maybe in the country. I don't think I've seen anything quite like it. So if you're in Kansas City, go go find people, because there are 101 events out there for you to network and meet people and support each other. Well, hey LaToya, that's our podcast today. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. This was awesome.
This podcast is brought to you by Climb the Small Business Book Club, where entrepreneurs go to learn, discuss, apply, and grow. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to subscribe at Apple, Spotify, or Google Podcasts, or follow us on Instagram at Climb Book Club. And always remember, mistakes are inevitable, perfection's impossible. So let's embrace the mistake.